We'll get to that in a little bit, but we start with some Browns after a quick word from LinkedIn Talent Solutions. As a small business owner, your work doesn't end when the clock hits 5. Your business is always on your mind, which means when it's time to hire, you need a partner that works just as hard as you do. That's where LinkedIn Jobs comes in. When you clock out, LinkedIn clocks in. LinkedIn makes it easy to post your job for free, share it with your network, and get qualified candidates all in one place. LinkedIn's new feature can help write job descriptions and then quickly get your job in front of the right people with deep candidate insights. And here's a pro tip. Add the hashtag hiring frame to your profile picture to double your reach to qualified candidates. No wonder 72% of small businesses say LinkedIn helps them find high-quality hires. You can post your job for free at linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL. That is linkedin.com/LockedOnNFL to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. So Kevin Stefanski and the Browns are at their annual golf outing this morning. Kevin Stefanski was asked if the OTA rep structure that the media got to see on Wednesday at the open portion of OTAs is the way they've conducted every practice. And to be expected, Stefanski said, no, we have mixed and matched. Steve, don't take the tag board. Tag board has nothing to do with this. Different tag board from Friday. He said they are switching it up. Shedeur Sanders got an 11 on 11 reps. He did not get him back on Wednesday. They're mixing and matching. Who's going first? Who's going second? So the quarterback battle is all continuing to be determined day by day, rep by rep, nothing determined yet. So I wanted to ask this question in the big picture. And we'll start with you, G. What individual trait between these 4 quarterbacks do you think, when it's all said and done, will be the determining factor in what Kevin Stefanski wants from his starting quarterback? What trait?
If I'm going to break it down, I would say the physical trait is this. Can you hit intermediate passes? When I watched the Cleveland Browns last year, we had an issue. Deshaun Watson's issue was, when you talk about the 15 to 25-yard pass that you need to throw, and you need to throw it when people don't look like they're open, you need to throw it with anticipation, you need to be able to throw it, when you got a lot of people barreling down on you. That wasn't something that was able to be done. And for me, I look at this in the quarterback competition right now. They're doing, stuff in the offseason, and ain't nobody around. And, it's just regular throws and, throw and catch, pitch and catch stuff. But when you get to the fall camp, you're going to start to see guys working in their 7-on-7, guys, especially with the good on goods with other teams in the camps and different things like that. And you're playing different teams, you're going to have guys jumping around and moving around, running their defenses and their stuff. Can you hit the intermediate 15 to 25-yard pass consistently? No one's going to win checking the ball down and taking it what the defense gives them and, throwing to the backside of the backfield. That look cute. That's cool. But in games where you have to win for your offense to move the ball downfield, you have to be able to hit that pass. And the second thing is this. Who can do that and protect the football? Like, we saw Jameis Winston be able to do that. We've seen Joe Flacco be able to do that. But also those guys have shown you a propensity to throw the ball to the other team or not protect the football or take sacks. So it's a combination of both. It's a risk reward thing. Can you hit those larger chunk plays, but at the same time, can you keep the football clean and you don't turn the ball over? And then I think the last key is just, who has a better grasp on the offense and what they want to do? Who has a better grasp on what it is their objective is, play in and play out? The objective is not the same on every single play. Obviously, Kevin Stefanski will be letting them know, hey, this is what we're trying to get done on this play. Can you accomplish those things inside the structure of the offense? And I think the person who's able to do that against competition will probably win the competition. I think right now, if you ask me who has a leg up, it's Joe Flacco because he knows it. Joe Flacco because he has a really, really good arm. But the thing that Joe Flacco may not have, or also has that other people may not have, Joe has a propensity to turn the football over as well. So I think right now it would be Joe Flacco. But those are the 3 things I think that'll win the job.
Yeah, that's a lot of things, and which is what that's where I was leaning when I was trying to think about this, because it's not just one thing.
Yeah.
That's if that's the most complex position in sports. So there are many, many, many things, and it'll be ultimately the person that wins the job will check more boxes than the other guys. I still think that if they're going strictly on who is the best quarterback, which quarterback gives you the best chance to win Sunday at 1 o'clock, not long term, not 3 years from now, that's Joe Flacco, and that's not close, at least not from what I've seen so far. But I think if I had to pick one, and you touched on it, if there's going to be one that you want to boil this thing down to, it is going to be taking care of the football. Because we've seen in the past, Jameis Winston had moments, Joe Flacco had moments. Why were both of them disbanded? Because they couldn't take care of the football. Joe had problems in the playoff game. Jameis, the Jameis Winston experience is something that
it's a fever dream.
It's unbelievable. It is a fever dream.
Right.
It's the most wild, fantastical fantasy, and 20 minutes later, it can be your deepest, darkest nightmare. And that was Jameis Winston. And he'd be here. He'd still be a top 10 quarterback in the league. Look at his arm. Look at his strength. Look at his leadership ability. Why is Jameis Winston where Jameis Winston is? Because he can't take care of the football. Nope. And we know the one thing that drives Kevin Stefanski more than anything, most head coaches, can't give the ball away for free, especially when you're offensively challenged. You have to maximize every offensive possession you get. The last thing you want to do is take 3 possessions in an average game and just give it to the other team.
Yeah.
So I think the quarterback that shows, and I don't know how this is going to play out because I'm still not sure how. I think we're going to see the quarterback plays, the way they play the quarterbacks in the preseason will be unlike anything we've seen from Kevin Stefanski so far. I don't think we need to see Joe Flacco in the preseason. He is what he is, and I want to keep him in glass. I don't want him taking unnecessary hits. But these other 3 guys in the preseason are going to play. They're hopefully going to play a lot. And the one that turns the ball over the least, I think has the best chance if it's not Joe Flacco.
This is an impossible question to answer.
It is.
Are you talking week 1? Are we talking week 1?
I think it was to win the job.
To win the job, yeah. Listen, it's June 2nd, and
Yeah.
we have 2 hours to fill and a quarterback.
No, I hear you.
Unwavering.
I didn't mean that as a shot at you.
It is. It's just a very difficult question because it's a complex position.
And I did think we'd all have 4 different answers, by the way. And so far, we're 2 in the same vein. But Jason, I'm curious where you go.
Well, I mean, I agree. Joe Flacco gives them the best chance to win. Yet I told you when I came back from
Indy,
Wednesday from OTAs, I watched Joe throw it like, whoo, yeah, he can still spin it. He's the best one out here in terms of arm strength, being able to throw it. But yeah, I mean, taking care of the football is paramount, and that's the one thing that he struggles with as well. So I still think. I mean, listen, it's May, it's June. I still think Kenny Pickett is the leader. But that doesn't mean Joe Flacco can't catch him or one of these rookies can't catch him. But we're going to make me pick one trait. It's going to be decision making, and you can say that however you want. You can take that into turnovers. You can take that into throwing to the open guy, whatever. But to me, it's decision making is the most important trait. The way that Stefanski builds the offense,
which leads into turnovers, really. Decision making,
absolutely. And I think Tommy Reese and Kevin sort of see it the same way. And
what am I missing that I'm so blown away to hear someone of your ilk and your caliber of reporting? What am I missing when I hear guys like you say, "Oh, this is Kenny Pickett"? Well, almost as if we're talking about this is.
But again, it's June. Like we still
I know,
have all
but like,
training
what have you seen?
Because Kenny doesn't turn it over as much as the other guys. It goes right back to what we were just talking about.
I mean, what is his turnover ratio for his career?
Bull and I had a knockdown drag out over this earlier.
Because when I think of Kenny Pickett, without looking at the numbers, I think meh. I just think I think he turns it over a lot. And
I mean, listen, he doesn't have a staggering number of touchdowns.
No,
not at all.
His touchdown to turnover ratio is horrific. His turnover.
Okay, what is it?
Played
just out of curiosity.
See, these are 2 different things. So give them both.
Yeah, it is.
So his touchdown to interception ratio. Are you ready? Because it's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's 15 to 14 in his career.
Okay.
15 touchdowns, 14 turnovers.
And that's why I kind of look at it and say, wow, he's better than.
But he's played 30 games and has 14 interceptions.
His turnover ratio, we went through the list because Bull's like, he turns it over all the time. And I said, no, he doesn't. And it was basically in the ilk of like Mahomes in terms of turnovers. percent. That's the only time Kenny Pickett and Patrick Mahomes can be compared to each other.
Well, it's once every other game. A pick. If he's played 30 games, started 30 games, he's played 14. Thrown 14
he has a
interceptions.
1.8 interception rate, which ranks right among top 10.
That's very good.
He doesn't turn the ball over, but he also.
But he's not giving you a lot. He's not giving you a lot of offense on the other side.
And
I
think that they look at. And again, I don't want to make it sound like I'm stumping for Kenny Pickett because I don't think he's going to be a great NFL quarterback. But I think they look at the Steelers' offense and think that was a disaster of a system that he was in. It didn't fit his skills, and I think they look at it and say they can run a better system here. Just telling you how I think they see it. That doesn't mean he's going to win the job. It's June 2nd.
Right.
If you're asking me who's the leader, I still think it's Kenny.
Okay.
I think here's the thing. One thing I'll say is I don't think people should get caught up in being like, so this is my guy, this is what I want, and then people will be like, no, let me tell you why exactly your guy is not the guy, right? The problem with that is they're gonna get a shot. You gonna see it. It's just that we can't wait to see it, right?
Right.
Everybody has a little money on. Everybody has a horse in a race. Here's the thing: at one point in time, they're gonna have to get in them blocks, and gonna have to go out there and get some live ammunition, and then we gonna see. That's the best thing about football.
We're gonna find out.
Oh, we're gonna find out.
Yeah.
You can't hide. Hey, listen, if you like Kenny Pickett can't hide forever. He's gonna have to come out here and show why he's head and shoulders are better than your young guys. Joe Flacco, look, he may be the guy that's in the lead at this moment, but let's not get it twisted. I like Flacco, but I just went back and watched that Texas game in the playoffs, and it was nasty work. They was laughing and joking like, look at this old offense and this old quarterback back here that we about to just, they was running pick sixes back to the house. That game was over before it started.
It was.
Now, here's my thing. Now, if you ask me, this would be a travesty, right? And we'll say it now. We'll set it up. If these rookies don't end up playing the most games out of this schedule in this season, I don't know what we're doing. I would have to question what it is that we're doing in our front office and our
What if
evaluation.
it's obvious, as Joe said, we're gonna know early. What if it's obvious right away that neither one of them's it?
Hey, well, here's the great
Do
thing.
you still try to force it?
No, here's the thing. I don't even think they're behind the eight ball a little bit. To me, look, I say, I want to see Shedeur Sanders play. But what would be the most advantageous for him? The most advantageous is to see them other two cats to go see what they're gonna do. Because I'm gonna tell you like this: if Kenny Pickett go out there, it is a no-win situation if you start him.
What if he plays very well?
Well, here's the thing: he gets his shot. He better be Mahomes, because behind him they'll be clamoring for Flacco.
Sure.
And then they'll be clamoring for Shedeur Sanders. Can you imagine Kenny Pickett throwing one or two picks? It's this first game. We're gonna have to come in here that first game and say, well, is this the end for Kenny Pickett? People are going to be waiting.
I'll have a topic when that happens. G says, is the public pressure enough to force the Browns into a quarterback change? It'll be a week one, week two topic.
Is that why we can't have nice things?
Yes.
There's a lot of reasons why. You said on Friday, and we had to move on. We couldn't really circle back to it, but you said they should sit Shedeur for the year. You can't. I don't think there's any scenario where you can do that.
No, I said if Flacco comes out and he's balling, right? And the Browns are 4-2 and nobody thought they would be nothing.
I gave him a ridiculous hypothetical.
Right.
I said, what if?
Well, no, I thought we were making the point that for development's sake, sit Shedeur for the year and let him sit and learn and then play him the following year. Yeah. I don't think that's realistic.
Well, my point was, if I said what I was going for was, all right, well, in that case, obviously, they're not going to take Joe Flacco out of the lineup if they're doing that. I said for myself, could it be a thing if Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry are going to be here long term, and you look at Shedeur Sanders and they feel that they've seen enough where he could be a long-term quarterback, but they just don't think he's ready now, then is there a possibility they say, look, we're going to sit you. We liked you earlier in the draft. but some things happen where it slipped a little bit. We want you to sit and watch behind Flacco or Pickett, whatever the case may be. And then we're going to be here. We don't got no hurry to put you in the game. We like what you see. We think you could be our franchise guy. Hey, let's sit a year.
If they do that, they're taking a quarterback in the top of the first round. I don't see any world where they sit him for the year and then not take a quarterback.
In that case, if they don't think, or if it's borderline, he has to play.
I'm with you. That's why I said Friday. I think
it's borderline, but here's the thing. But I don't agree that they can't look at him and say, "Hey, we like him." They did? If Mahomes had to sit, Patrick Mahomes sat a whole year.
Yeah, and he's not the only one.
And Mahomes sat. Why wouldn't you say? Because for me, I look at Shedeur's tape. Nothing happened from the time I said I would take him at 2 till now. He didn't play no more games. He didn't do nothing. No. So if I look at his skill set and say I like that, and they like it, it's just the fact that we want to put you in the best position to achieve. Why would that be a far-fetched thing? We don't think he's at that level.
Mahomes sat because he was a first-round pick and he was looked at as the future of the franchise. The Browns traded down to 5 to go get their future of the franchise at quarterback, and then they willingly took Dylan Gabriel in third round, thinking there is no chance Shedeur Sanders is coming to Cleveland because nobody thought he was there in the 5th. I don't think they had any interest in bringing him in and making him the starting quarterback. They've told you that in multiple different ways. Now, could he fight and compete and win the job? Absolutely, but he's not going to do that standing on the sideline. He's got to play. That's why I said Friday. He's got. I hope that by the time we get to the end of the season, he plays the most games of any of these guys on the roster because he's the one guy that I think has a shot. But you got to see it because I heard all along how great Dorian looked, and they put him out there and he threw up all over his shoes. You got to see it in the game. So this idea of sitting him, I just don't think it's realistic. He has got to play. If there's any chance for him to be the guy, he has to play this year. Is it fair to him? Maybe
what about the
that's
quarterback
just
on the roster who was
in.
drafted ahead of him? I mean, that's why it's such a rare situation.
Yeah, I know.
Because you've got a guy who was drafted 2 rounds ahead of him.
Absolutely.
And so in the Browns' minds, and
He's
again,
the guy.
they haven't played a game since then. In the Browns' mind, Dylan Gabriel's their future.
On June 2nd, they like Dylan Gabriel more than Shedeur Sanders. Fair?
Yeah.
I think that's absolutely fair.
Yeah.
And you mentioned something earlier that I think I wanted to stress this point today. Joe Flacco loses all ties. All ties.
He better.
Like, if at the end of the camp, they're sitting down and they've got 8 offensive guys in the room and they're talking about what they saw at camp and we got to make a decision. And they're evaluating guys and they're giving numbers and they're assigning numbers for every single trait they have. And it's 86 for Joe and 86 with Pickett or 86 with Gabriel or 85 with Shedeur. Joe's out. Joe's out in that situation because I think the worst case scenario for the Browns season this year is that, well, no, that's probably not the worst case, is that you don't see them. I think it's probably maybe beneficial if you see them and they're bad. It's not as bad if you see them and they're 3-7.
Hey, if you see them and they're bad, that's great. That's fine.
Well, it's not great because it's another wasted season.
But at least you have clarity.
You know that, okay, next. And you've taken 2 more quarterbacks in the draft that are on the street now.
Because if you play somebody, you got to think about it. If you want to confirm one of the young 2 dudes, you give them an opportunity to play and don't be protecting them against none of that. You put them out there and say, yeah, you're going to play Pittsburgh twice. I need to see how you prepare. Yeah, you played bad against Baltimore once. You're going to come back and see something the next time. Because guess what? The worst thing in the world, y'all think it's bad now. If you think it's bad, you think how crazy it's going to be. If you say, we gave these dudes 2 or 3 weeks to play, and then next year you're going to go into the draft not knowing what you're going to do. Like, that's wild to me.
If they only give them 2 or 3 weeks, then they know what they're going to do. They're taking a quarterback at the top of the first round.
Well, here's the thing. If they give them 2 or 3 weeks, what is the purpose of playing old dudes? You wasted a 3rd round pick and a 5th round pick. You wasted it.
Can I clear up what you guys are all saying? Because you actually are saying the same thing. You want to see, and we said this on the schedule show, we got to figure out if Shedeur or Dylan can play if they're the future of the franchise. That's actually what Jason's saying in a roundabout way. You have to play. If you don't play them, Jason, and if I'm putting words in your mouth, they're misinterpreting what you're saying. Please correct me. Jason's saying if they don't play him, the Browns have seen enough in practice to know
That's exactly
this ain't it. You guys are actually saying the same thing in different
If
ways.
they only play 2 or 3 games, it's because they haven't shown anything in practice that they're ready for this.
And what we want to see is, right, and here's the thing, the referendum is, we talk about Stefanski and quarterbacks, right? We said we gave him the quarterback whisperer title. You got 2 of them. You picked them, you took them. Can we see if you can develop them?
He's got 4 of them.
He got
picked
4
all
of them.
4 of them.
He picked them. Can we see if you can find one? Because guess what? Think about how happy everybody would be if one of the rookies pulled up and they was the guy, and guess what? You saw the intangibles, you saw the throws, and you said, we're just not very good right now. We need weapons, we need receivers. We was in a lot of football games, we was interesting. We won 3 games. You know how excited people will be? You win 3 games, you found your quarterback, and now you got 2 first-round picks. That's awesome.
Yep.
And you would tell Kevin, and you would say, well, damn it, look at Kevin Stefanski. He's getting a lot out of this rookie. I like this. So I want to see what this combination does moving forward. That feels great. If you give me 3 wins in that, G. Bush ain't going to be over nobody. I'll just say, listen, I'm watching the Browns every week. It's interesting to look at. I'm liking to see the young guys play. But if you're getting blown out and you're losing games and veterans that's 45 throwing picks and interceptions, people is going to be looking crazy because it's going to say, what are we doing this for? Why? Why are we playing those guys?
Yeah, I don't know. Just gives me a headache thinking about
Look,
it. I'm not kidding. No,
Jay's speechless, and that almost
it
never
just gives me a
happens.
headache because, and here's why. We've had these discussions for 30 years.
right?
Just like this.
Same ones.
Yep.
Just like find a quarterback, okay? Find a quarterback, and everything else fixes itself. But now you just think of that's why the names, the jerseys are so funny, and I'm sure you guys saw the tweet. I love this guy. The tweet that had the Pope shirt of all the. It was our guy.
Reflog.
Reflog. He's so funny. He made a fake shirt with all of the Pope's names on it since the turn of the century. They're like 7 names.
That's wild. That's crazy.
And then you look at the quarterback jersey for the Browns with all their names on it since they came back. And now it's so long, it's not even, you can't even put them on one jersey. It needs to be a wedding gown. It needs to be a wedding gown jersey that goes all the way down the whole damn aisle. And it's exhausting because I really feel like I'm stuck in Groundhog Day, where I'm waking up every year and it's the same thing over and over and over. And the bright, shiny, diversionary object that's supposed to get us and keep us excited is a dome stadium in Brook Park. It's just like, what kind of alternative universe are we living in? Find a quarterback.
When I did a barbershop, listen, there's a lot of new fans in the fan base. A lot of people who watch Shedeur Sanders in Colorado throughout the time. And this Saturday, I'm just gonna try to reach out to them and give them some of the reasons why there may be people in our fan base that are reluctant or this is their excited face because of what you just said. For them, it's new, it's fun, it's exciting.
We've seen this movie before.
This movie, we've gone through it. Like when you get your organization and you're like, okay, we love Tim Couch, right? And then we like, oh, well, Tim is hurt. Maybe Kelly Holcomb's the guy. Then we get to a point where we're like, all right, let's draft a young guy and Charlie Fry, who's from the area. That didn't work out. Then you're looking around, let's get Jeff Garcia. He used to be good at once upon a time. Then we get around to the Brady Quinn and Derek Anderson era where
Brian Hoyer.
The Hoyer, he's a local kid. Then we you get Deshaun Kaiser in the second round. Maybe he's the guy. And then you go
Johnny Manziel.
Johnny Football. There have been people who have put the cape on, who have just sold everything they had in their soul and existence on any one of those set quarterbacks. But when you've been in this fan base this long, 30, 40 years, and the last guy you saw do something is up here with us, talk about wellness, Mr. Bernie Kosar.
Yeah.
And he's like, look, bro, he talk about wellness. He trying to get his life together. He getting well. He's trying to throw the football. He's like, listen, he like, I'm checked out. It's so bad. He said, I ain't watching football like I used to. He's like, I'm just worried about this health. I said, this is crazy. This is so long. Bernie just said, I'm cutting out. I'm just worried about this health right now. I ain't worried about football. I said, this is how bad the quarterback play is. This is why when people don't be just jumping automatically on the bandwagon, it's because they don't have souls anymore. It's been taken.
We're dead inside.
They're dead.
Jay, we're dead inside.
Come on.
I'm with you, bro.
When you put all
I'm
that
in the graveyard
into
of Browns fans.
and then the back-to-back.
What makes it worse, and this is why I have such a headache anytime I talk Browns quarterback, this makes it worse. We had him.
Listen, see,
we had him.
This is
Jay, here's my mission for you. At some point, you're going to come over.
Here you
At
go.
some point.
Here you go.
If he gets him to a conference championship game.
Listen, what? Like we're getting close with who we have?
No, of course not.
Okay.
So do you want to spend your life trying to win one playoff game a year, or do you want to try and win a Super Bowl?
Which one would I rather have? Because that's not an alternative. Forget the Super Bowl. If you're asking me, would I rather go to one playoff game and win one playoff game a year, or be 3-14?
I want to swing until you get to a Super Bowl. I want to keep swinging.
So go 3-14 every single year. I'd rather be the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Baker's a wonderful man. He's a
in-laws.
fine quarterback.
Is he? Let me ask you this.
He's not taking the
I don't know
team to
that
the
I've
Super
ever
Bowl.
asked you this question.
Welcome to the family reunion.
Is he the best quarterback the Browns have had since the rebirth? Who has played better
while they were here?
I
mean, God, that's not a very high bar. Possibly. Possibly.
Jay, it's not. But that's part of my point.
I don't think he's ever going to a Super Bowl.
Okay, he may not. But I'll tell you this right now. If I've got a bet to make, and I'm going to put $1,000 on the following: Baker Mayfield or any quarterback currently on the Browns roster. That's easy. I don't even have to think about that.
It's Baker.
Okay. So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying he's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not. But compared to what we have now, he's a beauty queen.
But do you agree with Jason said? Look what he had to do to get to that point. I
like him more because of that.
Without the adversity, without losing $13 million to his family, without going to the Rams and getting cut, and then going back went to the Panthers. Go to the Rams, Then you lose a bunch of money. You got a bunch of family stuff. You going through a turmoil where you was the guy. You hit rock bottom. You get to Tampa Bay. Without those things happening,
we don't know.
He does not become. He's told you he didn't.
He was an.
He told you that.
He has. But however, we knew after one season that everybody in Cleveland, we found our guy. There it is.
After 1 year, yes.
Yes. Now, next year he took a step back. Then oddly, the next year he took a step forward. Then oddly, the next year he took a step back. The thing with him is, which I haven't been able to say about any other Browns quarterback since 1999. It's in there. I know it's in there. With Johnny Manziel, it might have been in there, but with his personality, it was never coming anywhere.
There's too many drugs in there. There was nothing else in there.
too much alcohol.
My point is, Jay, it's like I know that you might be settling, but when you're in high school and you're looking at the prospective candidates to take to the prom, you can put blinders on when you look in the mirror and think you can have anybody. Or you can look in the mirror and say, there's not a whole lot going on there. I don't have a whole lot to offer.
These ain't proms.
Baker looks pretty good to me at this point.
These proms and taking people don't give you these scars. These are marriages. You got divorced from Baker, and your mom still says, whatever happened to that nice girl?
You're right. You're right.
Then you got married to Deshaun Watson, and then that fell apart.
And you got an STD. She brought you home an STD.
This is wild. That's wild. This was wild.
I hate that felt.
That was wild. Now
we're just throwing out imaginary scenarios.
Now we sit here. We got Shedeur Sanders, and we dating, and now it's Shedeur and Dylan Gabriel. One of you axed out first. And you're like,
you're getting tested. I'll tell you that.
Here's one of the things you touched on it earlier, but you said dog in the fight. And what kills me is it seems that everybody has their dog in the fight. I'm a Pickett guy. I'm a Gabriel guy.
Yes.
Here's the thing. They're not even in the gates yet. Here's my horse. Here's my dog in the fight.
Whatever's balling.
Whoever's the real dog.
Whoever's.
Like, who is he? And I believe in Joe Thomas. When Joe Thomas said, we're going to find out faster than people think.
Yeah.
Because you cannot wear the fraud hat in this league. You can't. It doesn't exist.
You're going to get your shot. That's why.
You're going to get your shot in the city of Cleveland, Ohio to play quarterback. And what do you do when you're in there? That's why I know we're going to talk later about some comments Dion made. Here's the thing. When Dion talks now and Shedeur talks and the pro Shedeur guys and the anti-Shedeur guys, here's what it sounds like to me. A phone call on peanuts. Wah, 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 wah. Dion's running, whatever he's saying, I didn't even hear it. I don't know what he said.
We'll play it later.
But Dion's comments to me, here's all I have to say to anybody who's pro or anti-Shedeur. We're going to see.
We're going to see.
We're going to find out. There is a right and wrong. We don't know it right now. If we did,
you don't know.
We'd be placing bets and we'd be winning every bet. This is a crystal ball that is completely dark. You can't see in it. And we're going to find out. And my dog in the fight is whoever the best dog in the fight is.
Love the competition. I love it.
I like that part of it.